Hey, hey, hey. Hey, y'all. It's me, Tiffany. So I'm super excited because today we are talking about something that is of utmost importance, but in a different kind of way. We are talking about retirement. But how can you retire? How can you retire tax-free, right? Because everybody knows that during retirement, your income really comes from what you did when you were younger, and not everyone is able to work in their elderly age. And ideally, you don't want to work unless you want to work in your elderly age. So, how do you preserve some of your income by doing so tax-free? So, we've got an awesome expert. Her name is Robinne Alexander. Let me pull up her bio, which I thought was super cute when I was reading it earlier, Robinne. I was like, oh, this is cute. So just let me know, guys, in the comments that you guys can hear me and see me. Okay, so bio, in her own words, she's just a home girl who is convinced that she can change the world with a dream and a plan. Her financial services and insurance company, Truth Financial Group, is a financial services and an insurance company, that's here to serve the underserved. They are an agency of licensed, education-focused consumer service and driven agents. They are here to help navigate you through the process that an A-rated insurance company offers in order for you to choose the best financial solution for you, for you, your family, and business. Of course, I wasn't coughing the whole time. Now that I click live, it's like I'm gonna be dying, right? Anyway, Robin's social media handles are The Dopest Truth. How dope is that? So at The Dopest Truth, and that's on what is that on Twitter? The Dopest Truth?
Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Definitely Instagram. That's like my favorite.
Okay, and then Truth Financial on Facebook. Okay, yeah. So let's get this party started. First, let me check in. Y'all can hear me loud and clear. Great. Try not to work after retirement. Amen, Wolf. Yes. Okay, you guys are ready. Oh, I love when you guys come early. All right. So, Robinne, let's get started. I'm going to give you the floor. First, we'll just explain to me, so how does ideally retirement work? Yeah, let's just get started with your lesson.
Okay. So, if you have access to those PDFs that I believe they uploaded into the Academy, that's kind of going to be our agenda for the next 20-30 minutes.
So tell me which one you want to start with first, and I'll put the link inside.
Okay. So the first one we're going to start with is the one listed as Baby for Live Richer.
Baby, is that the one you just said, or
no? Okay, so the one I just sent was the Simple Guide to a Great Retirement. That's the one. But the two illustrations, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here.
I see one that says Planning Your Child's Retirement. I see the $1 million policy sample and $250K. Which one? $250K.
Okay, so it's the $1 million for Baby. Yeah.
Okay, $1 million policy sample. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm about to. If you're watching this not live, don't worry. All of this is inside the Academy. Yeah. If you're watching a live, I'm actually just gonna post the link right here in our comments, so you guys can click on it.
Yeah. And do you want me to share the document as well? Because I can try to do that.
Yeah, if you can. What, girl? That's your show.
Okay, let me pull it up. Share screen. Okay.
And you just tell us what page, because I see it's 36 pages.
Yeah. So we're going to start with page 5.
Okay. So for those of you who are watching live, I just posted a link. Click on it. It pops up as a PDF. It's page 5, but Robinne is also going to put it so we can see it. And for those of you who are not watching live, it's the one that's labeled $1 million policy sample and page 5. Okay, go ahead, Robinne.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to approach the conversation kind of like reverse engineer the whole thing, because I just want you guys to have an idea of what the outcome should be when you are going forward with a new financial solution. You should see what the outcome should be, what the solutions you have to your tax-free retirement, and also the potential to have a guaranteed lifetime income, which is super important. So we're going to start with this one. I do want to start with the one that is listed as baby. Okay. Some people don't know that you can get these IULs and these policies in place for retirement when you are a child. Now,
hold on real quick. What's an IUL?
IUL is an Index Universal Life product. Index Universal Life, it means that it has a flexible premium, usually a flexible death benefit. You can change different parts of the actual policy to make it, work for your life. So if you lose a job or if you gain more money one day and you want to like increase something here and there, then you can do that. Index is based on the fact that it's directly reflected. Your interest is reflected by the performance of the stock market. Now, it's not directly connected in the sense where if the market crashes, your policy crash. No, I'm going to go over what plans do have that volatility though, but these do not have that volatility. This just means that if the stock market, the S&P does great, then that means that you are going to have a guaranteed return of interest on that particular policy because you are in that IUL. But if the stock market crashes, you have the protection of what we call the floor, which we're going to go over details and definitions in just a moment. I just want to kind of throw all the information out there as far as the outcome, so that when we back up and go over the key terms, go over what they mean, you can better have an understanding of, okay, this is what I need to start looking into for me and my family. So,
okay, so for those of you asking, I see some of you asking, I posted it in the comments. You should be able to see the link to the PDF that she's talking about in the comments, but it's also inside the Academy. So to be clear, we're looking at this policy and you want us to start on page.
Okay, this is going to be page 5.
Okay, so everybody's going to scroll to page 5. Okay, so now tell us what we're looking at and what do we need to, yeah.
So this is what a client would normally see after we've gone through the entire process to find out what meets their needs, their family's needs if they have children. Let's say this is a mother who just had a baby. Okay, and let's say she wants to set up her baby to make sure that if the child ever gets sick, she'll be able to have money accessible to cover extra, maybe medical bills, or maybe be able to, go to the hospital with her child. Let's say she goes to Texas Children's Hospital and she has to go for some sort of chemotherapy or something. The child will have money to cover the income from the mom because she's not working, because she's taking care of her baby, but she'll also have money available to be able to cover anything that child needs while she's not working as well. So it's kind of twofold. It covers the income part of whoever parent or guardian is not able to work because of a child being sick, and it's also being able to cover any additional expenses that healthcare may not cover for a child if they're sick. It also has retirement built into the plan. So we meet this mom and we say, hey mom, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is what you chose. We've already gone through the whole process to decide this is the right product for you to get for your child so that she can get an early start on retirement and all those other protections. So the baby is 1 year old. The mom will pay $191.67 per month. Okay. She's paying $191, or we could just say $192 per month for a $1 million policy. All right. That $1 million policy, what that says is that death benefit, if for whatever reason that this mother has the unfortunate event of losing her child, she will have that $1 million death benefit to go towards the mom, the family, however they divvy that out, whoever the beneficiaries are, etc.
Real quick question, Robin.
Yeah.
Someone asked real quick, Deirdre asked, what is the age of the mom at the beginning of this policy? Does that matter?
It does not matter. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, there are some policies and some companies, again, there are over 3,000 insurance companies, people. That's why we're here to kind of guide people through America how to choose the best thing for them. So with your age, it does not matter. You can be a 16-year-old who just had a 1-year-old. You can be a 26-year-old, a 36. It does not matter the age. This is based off of the fact that your child is 1, not the parent's age.
Okay. 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 Keep going.
Okay. So when looking at page 5, you'll see that the monthly premium is $191.67. Okay. That's what you'll pay per month for this $1 million policy. The beautiful thing about these type of policies, these IULs, is that you also have the death protection or the death benefit, I should say, for $1 million. But you also have what we call living benefits, which is what I briefly just touched on. Living benefits, meaning if the child ever gets terminal illness, chronic, critical, or even a critical injury, they will have access to a lump sum and a monthly sum of money to cover any expenses. Is not a loan. You do not have to pay it back. Okay. This policy also for this child has the cash value. So just in case the child, says, oh, well, I want to go to college, or I want to, use it for a down payment on a home, or I want to buy, the freshest new car out there. They want to get just a little litty with their, lifestyle because they're celebrating their high school graduation, whatever they want to do. They have that cash accumulation. Okay. By time that child is 65 years old, that $1 million policy that you have been investing in will then be $1.7 million. Okay. And that's not just from your premiums. That's also from the cash value. That's from the index reflecting the stock market. That's from that interest and the compounding interest that has been added to what you are also putting inside of that policy. Okay. If you go to page 3 of that same policy, it's going to break down to you exactly what I mean. So you have that $192 per month, which comes to $2,300, right? The child is 1 year old. By time they are ready to, let's say they pass at 66 years old or 80 years old or whatnot, they're going to have $2.5 million. Okay. Again, that's not all money that you have put into the policy. That is your premium plus the return on investment from the stock market that is guaranteed through these policies. Okay. Next, you also have that initial annual tax-free income. This is the retirement part. This is the guaranteed income part. Okay. And if you start at age 66, your 1 year old at age 66 will be able to get $157,662
a year
per year for tax-free income. Okay. They no longer have to pay on the policy. They stop paying on the policy actually at 65 years old. Okay. The policy never lapsed. That is their guaranteed retirement tax-free income at the age of 66. And it actually goes into, I want to say the illustration goes up to like 120 years old or something like that. But the total, total income benefit received will be $8.6 million. So
real quick, Robin, I want to make sure that because this is technical for a lot of people. So I want to make sure we answer questions along the way. So Denise asked, is this through National Life Group Insurance?
This is National Life, but let me be clear about National Life. First of all, National Life Group is, they have the #1 living benefit riders, period. Okay. You're not going to find any other company that offers what they offer. Okay. Now myself, and I'm not saying because I broker them, I broker many different companies. Okay. But if you're talking about a client who has a child or a client who is of age, maybe in their, their 18, 19, 20, 30s, 40s, 50s, or whatever, and they have good health, this is the premier product that you want to see if you can get approved for. Okay. So it's definitely National Life, but let me also backdoor that statement with this. Not all companies who have access to National Life have access to their sole proprietary IUL called the Living Life IUL. Okay. It's only one company that has access to it. And I just so happen to be a wonderful member of that company.
Okay. So Distinctive One asks, how much of the policy has to be paid into before the full benefit is given?
Day one. It is available to you as soon as you pay that very first premium. Now, again, there are other IULs, and I have my own background. I have my own experience in this because I had a policy, the IUL, that offered living benefits, but I could only I could only use my benefits for 12 months. It was not for the life of the policy, which this is. That's what National Life is known for. As long as you have a death benefit, as long as they have that 8.6 million or that 2.5 million, as long as you have a death benefit, you will always have access to funds when you get chronically, critically, or critically injured. So that's like a huge difference too.
Okay. Okay. Let's another question. Okay. If you're a single parent on a tight budget, are there lower policies you can purchase?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is what you want to do. If you are on a budget of at least $50, because that's where I always try to push everybody. You got $50 somewhere. Just, you may have to cut down on the Starbucks or cut down on Chick-fil-A or, you know, whatever you need to do, but you need to cut down somewhere so you can at least have a $50 policy, maybe a little more if you can afford it, and get a term policy with National Life that is convertible. Okay, you can do that as well. Now that is good for child, that's good for parent, guardian, etc. But if at all for children, usually your policies, if you don't want to get something that's like, you know, $192, even with this IUL, again, get something that's $50, get something that's $60, but fit as much money into your budget to go towards this as possible, because your child's college could be taken care of, any kind of health issues that they may have growing up, even until death. If they ever get sick in life, period, they'll have access to money that does not come in the form of a loan where they have to pay it back.
Okay. Okay. Keep going. Keep going. I'm going to answer some. I know you guys have questions, but I want to let Robin ask questions, teach. Okay. So next.
Yeah. Okay. So let's switch to the 29-year-old. Okay. Let's say this is the mom's policy.
Okay.
All right. Let's say she wanted a policy, and let's say hers is for $250,000. That's what she wants her legacy to be when she passes. She wants to leave $250,000 to her family to be able to bury her, send her off in the right way, make sure that they don't have that financial burden, while also having the emotional burden of grieving the process of losing their mom. She's
what page are we on? I'm sorry.
It's page 5 for the 29-year-old, $250,000.
Okay, so I'm gonna share that link with you.
Okay.
Like I said, these links are inside the Academy for those of you who are watching live, just to make it easier. I'm sharing this link with you, and we're on page 5 for that as well.
Yeah. So on page 5, it'll show you the face amount that this mom chose was $250,000 for only $360 a month, which comes down to really a few dollars per day. Okay. With this policy, you get all of these free riders. These are not riders that cost extra. The terminal illness rider, the chronic illness, critical injury, the same as the baby. They all have access to this, and it's included in the policy without any extra charges. Okay, so that's this first page. When you look at page 5, it tells you that part. Go to page 3 real quick, because I know we don't have a lot of time and it's a lot of information. I'm going to be in Facebook answering whatever you guys want me to answer. Okay, so just go to page 3 real quick, and it'll show you. Okay, so here we go. If you at 29 years old can afford a $4,000, or I should say $4,300 policy per year, because I always encourage people, do it with your tax refund, whatever you need to do, one and done. Okay, $4,300 will get you, for your income tax-free death benefit, $814,000. Okay, you signed up for a $250,000, but the $250 and the difference between the $814, that comes from the performance of the index fund that you are associated with your IUL. So the difference of that, which is what, maybe like $500,000 or whatnot, you know, depending on the performance of the S&P or the global index or whichever fund that you choose, depending on that, you'll have a cap and you'll have a floor. And I'll go into detail with that in just a moment. But that's how you're going to get that $814,000. That's not
just really quickly explain what you mean by index. So there are, one, it's the money that you put into the policy, and two, it's your money is growing. So just really briefly explain what you mean by index funds.
Absolutely. Okay. When you pay a $100 policy, let's say your premium is $100. Okay. A portion of your $100 that you're paying really to any company for any IUL, a portion of that $100 is going towards fees to the company to pay for administrative costs, paper, just like the basic little business stuff that they have to do to make sure that this is available to you. Okay. Then the other portion of your $100 premium is actually going into an account, kind of like a savings almost, but it's growing. It's going towards the performance of the index. And just remember, an index is just a bucket of investments. That's all it is. So it's household names like, Glade, Clorox, Gap, Banana Republic, whatever household names you have around you, that index fund is a bucket of Gap, Clorox, all these different household names that you are receiving the benefit of a good performing market or a good performing stock market. You're receiving the benefit of that in your policy.
Okay. Now, really quickly. So folks, there are some young women that are a little bit older, like 50s and 60s. So what options are there for policies like this?
What you need to do, first of all, you need to find out what you already have, because usually at that age, there's something that they usually already have in place and maybe they don't know exactly what it is. Find out what you have so that we can figure out, okay, this is the gap that you're missing. And then when we figure out what the gap is, then we can approach maybe an IUL, or maybe we can approach a term product, something that is maybe even guaranteed issue with the return of premium, meaning if you never use the policy, you can get all your premiums back. There's all different type of ways to approach it. But usually, again, most people, especially our elders, they have things in place already. They just need someone to look at it, figure out what it is, figure out where the gaps are, and then help them fill the gaps with policies like this.
And don't worry, guys. Remember, the purpose of these Ask the Experts is to introduce you to the experts. So Robin, obviously, is our expert for tonight. If you're watching live, she will be in our Facebook group later. Robin's also a dream builder, meaning she knows how the Academy works, so she'll be in our Facebook group. And if you're not watching live, your Robin's website, so you'll be able to contact her. So, you're not going to get every single question answered tonight, but, now you know where you can get your question answered. That's the purpose of Ask the Expert. Right. Expand your knowledge a little bit. And so now you know a place where this is where I can go to if I need additional help. So we're going to try to answer as many questions, but go ahead, Robin.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and leave that in the back of your head, because what I'm going to go over now, which is the kind of like my freebie to you guys, because first of all, I am a fan of the Budgetnista Boo Boo. All right, I absolutely love her, and anything she does, I'm most likely gonna love too. So I love y'all, and so I created this document, this little simple guide to a great retirement, and it's basically how I approach retirement with my clients. Okay, and this is something that you guys can have. If you already have it up in front of you, you can kind of follow along in the conversation as well. This is where I'm going to break down the terms and things of that nature. Now, I don't really want to read it verbatim because that's a little boring, but just kind of follow me. So a lot of people don't understand what retirement is. They just know that it's a big word. Sometimes it's an intimidating word. They know it happens when you get older, but basically retirement is the action or fact of leaving one's job and ceasing to work. No more work, no more clocking in, no more getting dressed, going to work, saying hi, boss, ain't none, just all gone. Okay, just no more work. So when you retire, you have to have a way to still receive a cash flow in order to maintain your current or even a comparable lifestyle. You have to. So this guide is basically like a memory jogger for you so that you can write down the needs and the wants as a way to kind of, you know, guide you to what you want your retirement plan to look like. Okay. And of course, because I'm not an attorney, this is not legal advice and it's not tax advice. All right. This is just advice on where to go and where to put your money. All right. So first, you need to also consider, or I will say the first thing you need to consider is the cost of necessities during your retirement. Your food, your mortgage, your car payments, you know, will the house already be paid off? Can you even make it to retirement? Most of us know people who were not even able to get to retirement age because they were, you know, fell down with a disability. They fell out with some kind of car accident, some kind of, you know, injury or illness. You know, statistics today are completely different from what they were 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. What do I mean? Statistics with heart failure, statistics with heart attack, statistics with cancer, statistics with any type of health issue, heart disease, etc. The statistics are so against us these days to where you are just living underneath the rock if you do not have urgency to get something in place for a life surprise, whatever that surprise is, whether it's a big life surprise, a small life surprise. We have to have something. We have to start considering the fact that our car insurance, our cell phone insurance, our TV insurance is not as important as our life insurance, which includes our retirement protection. Okay, we have to get into that mindset. All right, so that's just the necessities that you need to consider. Let's talk about.
Well, before we go a little further, let's answer a few more questions.
Okay.
All right. So Yolanda asked real quick, the floor is 0. What is the highest cap?
Okay. Depending on the IUL, the highest cap could be anywhere between 12 and 13%. Anywhere. The illustration that I showed you, I believe the cap was 6.7%. It wasn't even the highest cap. Okay. So
and explain what that means. So people are like, what do you mean floor and highest cap? What do you mean?
So your cap is, think of a bottle. Okay, think of a bottle, maybe a soda, you know, a Coke bottle. Let's think of a Coke bottle. Okay, how much, you know, Coke can actually fit into that 20-ounce bottle? 20 ounces of Coke, right? Now, let's say you waste some or something happens and it spills, whatever. What are you left with? You're left with just a little less than a full bottle. And that's how that account, that index account kind of works for you. It says that this is the cap. This is how much, you know, soda we can fit into this Coke bottle. Okay, this is how much money we're willing to go ahead and give you on an interest based on the stock market performance in this Coke bottle. This is how much money we can give you based on that. But the floor means if the Coke bottle is empty, you're not losing the money you already grew. Okay, that's the importance of the floor. The zero in a floor, that 0% interest, that is your hero when the stock market crashes. Okay, which it did in 2008. As a matter of fact, maybe about a month or so ago, the stock market took a huge dip. You have 0 as your hero, as I like to say, when it comes to these type of policies. So did I answer the cap issue? Okay.
Yeah, no, perfectly. Patricia asked, will your premium increase or decrease depending on the outcome of the market?
Absolutely not. You lock in your premium. You decide if you want to go by your budget. You want to go, you know, you want to change it. Let's say you want to increase your money by $100. Let's say you got a better job and you want to go from a $200 policy per month or a $200 premium per month, and you want to go to a $300 premium, which means you get more money added into your account. It's completely up to you, but it is not based on the performance of the index.
Okay. And real quick, Alicia asked, and you guys can ask your questions. I'm gonna let Robin get back to her lesson, but I'm gonna ask this one last question, but ask them so I know, you know, that you guys have questions. Alicia asked, what policy would be good for someone with diabetes? Is there any? So let's just not even think diabetes, like other pre-existing like conditions.
Okay, there are many policies out there that will, or companies that will actually cover diabetes. It depends on if the diabetes is managed by pills, if the diabetes is managed by insulin. It also matters, have you had any type of issues coming from the diabetes? Did you have to get something amputated? You know, were you in a diabetic coma once? You know, they look at your health history. What I think is important to know when it comes to getting these type of policies to help you with retirement and to help you with any type of disability, etc. You have to understand these insurance companies, they're all about risk and liability, okay? Because they're saying we're going to give you all this money, but you're our risk. We're taking that risk on because of the fact that this is your health. That's what they're looking at. This is your age. That's what we're looking at. Sometimes they look at your career. You know, they look at your hobbies sometimes. Like, how much of risk are you presenting to us before we say, yes, we'll cover you, or maybe not. Now, the beautiful thing about this too, though, Tiffany, is that when you are in the process, let's say I'm with a client, one thing you have to understand too is, listen, you don't owe anyone any money. When you meet with me, we sit down, we go over, you know, whatever the options are. We try to figure out what actually meets your needs. And then we go for it with what we do, or what we call an enrollment application. Okay, that enrollment is not a payment. You don't have to pay a check. You don't have to give me a check. You don't have to give me money. You don't have to, like, money never exchanges my hands for anything. Okay, and that should be true for actually most licensed brokers, most licensed agencies. You never have to put money up front. Basically, we just need your information to send it to the company to see if we can get you approved. So let's say you have diabetes, and let's say we try to get you in like the best policy ever. Okay, well, then we're going to send it to the underwriting team. All right, we're going to send in that enrollment. If they say yes or no, that's what determines what we do next. Because they may say, yeah, we'll go ahead and take her. They may say no. And if they say no, you're not out of any money. You still have all your money in your pocket. Okay, it's not until a company says, yes, we can approve you, where you need to have that time prepared to get all your finances in order to take on that new financial solution.
Okay, so guys, I'm going to take a break from questions, but we'll go back. I see you. I'm glad you're asking good questions. But Robin, go ahead with the next part of your lesson.
All right. So most of us were taught the 40-40-40 plan. Okay. And the 40-40-40 plan basically says you're going to work 40 hours a week for 40 years of your life to retire off of 40% of the income that you made prior. Okay. If you do the math, which I did break down the math in this simple guide to a great retirement, I break it down and I use a example of the fact that the median income in 2017 was only $51,000. Okay, excuse me, that's the middle class. Excuse me, that's the middle class median income, $51,000. And if you break it down by age, if you break it down by gender, you're looking at even less money, which means we're expected to be able to live off of about $588 per week. That's before taxes. All right. So if you look at all of these, if you look at middle income, median incomes, period, regardless if it's, regardless if it's, 51,000, or most people, especially in middle class or underprivileged, quote unquote, underprivileged communities, don't see 51,000. So just imagine the 40-40-40 plan based off of someone who's a janitor. Okay, based off of someone who's working, maybe a 9-to-5 as a secretary, or et cetera. Like, it's very unrealistic to believe in that 40-40-40 plan. Now, also, we have to consider our baby boomers. Our baby boomers, those are our parents, those are our aunts, our uncles, our great aunts, our great uncles, okay? These are the people who helped raise us, who helped show us how to live, how to walk, how to talk, how to pay bills, et cetera. They are barely surviving that 40-40-40 plan, because now they are depending on retirement income from the government. They're depending on that Social Security that we pay every paycheck to this account, but it's usually right now only $1,440. Okay, $1,400 per month is the projected average SSI income for retirement. And disability, Social Security disability, the average is $1,200 per month. People, we just can't survive off of that, okay? Also, really quick, your 401k, your 403b, your 457 plan, they are directly connected to the performance of the stock market, meaning if the stock market does great, you're fine. If the stock market crashes, you can lose part or all of your 401k. Yes, I have had clients when I first got licensed years ago. One of the first clients I had in Oklahoma. I live in Texas, but I'm licensed in a lot of different states to help a lot of different families. I had this guy who was married. Him and his wife lived in Langston, Oklahoma, I believe. And during 2008, during the recession, she had an $80,000 401k and she lost the entire 401k during the recession, people. When I meet with clients, I'm disturbed, I'm upset, you know.
Robin, real quick, if you're not going, because I'd love to see your face, it makes it easier to watch. If you're not going over your sheet, you could take it off screen share just so we can see you.
Okay, good. Okay, let me do that. Let me see how. Let me see. Let me see. Tiffany, I'm saying just like you when I'm.
I know. I feel like everybody does. So many people. I mean, I'm just gonna read just some of the comments, not the question just yet. Like, thank you. I'm glad that we're learning this. Proper insurance is vital to wealth building. Amen, Monica. Angela, I'm so glad that we're doing this because I didn't realize that there are so many older people in our group like myself with health issues and starting our second act careers. Angela, me either. That's awesome. I'm glad you guys are here. Yeah. We'll take some more questions. Keep posting them and I'll scroll up later for those watching live. But go ahead, Robin.
Okay. So I forgot you guys can't see my face when I'm sharing it. So I'm sorry about that. But so just to kind of recap, you can lose your 401k. You can lose your 457. You can lose your 403b, okay? Be mindful that it's not necessarily a bad thing to have. It's actually great to have. But what's even greater than that is to diversify. Okay, if you can diversify, maybe take some of the funds from your 401k, 457, 403b, maybe take some of those funds, roll over into an IUL. Okay, roll over some of that money so that you're not completely dependent on this 401k plan that is dependent on the stock market performance and the volatility of the stock market. Which just means if it goes up, if it goes down, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what's going to happen with your 401k. Okay, so you don't want to just be subject to a 401k retirement plan. You want to diversify when you can. And because you have a 401k, you can do that by rolling over into an annuity. You can roll over into an IUL, etc.
Okay, awesome. All right, so we're going to take some more questions. All right, a couple people asked, what's the difference between this and Transamerica?
Fees. Fees, baby. Let me tell you, I did the math, I did the research. All right, this is why I do what I do because I love it. I've had some of the similar or same experiences as some of my clients, only because before I was licensed, I mean, I didn't know what I was doing either. I kind of depended on, other people to tell me what I need to do. So, but I'm the type of person, I love to research. I love to find out what it is that's going on, not just with my money, but just in life, period. That's just me. I'm nosy. I like to learn. So what I learned is that Transamerica, their fees, if you take even a national life or a nationwide or any type of life insurance policy that you already have, meet up with someone from Transamerica, ask them about maybe the FFIUL that they have, ask them about really any type of policy, annuity, just anything, and then have them show you the fees associated with their policies. I used to actually broker Transamerica until I realized the difference between their fees and national life fees. There's a huge difference because if you're paying $100 premium, and this is hypothetical. Let's say in that $100, let's say $30 is going towards fees to Transamerica. Compared to national life, you're probably going to be paying like 15, maybe 10. Okay, so it is a huge difference.
That's a big difference. Okay, now let's talk about Yolanda says that she was told that she's uninsurable because she's a breast cancer survivor. What are her options? And DST Distinctive asks, do you have to take a physical prior to being approved?
Okay, so with the cancer question, there are companies that will approve you. You are not going to get maybe as much money in the policy that you want, but you can get approved for a policy. There are policies that will approve you if you've been 5 years in remission or 10 years in remission. Again, you just have to do whoever you meet with. You have to do the research to find out what companies will take you in. And all you have to do is just do that enrollment form, let them send that into underwriting. They'll say yes or no. If they say no, you make sure you have a licensed agent that's going to do their job and find the right company that will cover you, because there are companies that will cover that. What was the other question, Tiffany?
Physical. Do I need to do a physical?
Okay, no. Okay, so with National Life specifically, and actually with I would say most insurance companies, you do have what they call non-medical, okay? Meaning you don't have to do a physical, you don't have to do a urine sample, you don't have to do any of that, all right? The non-medical policies, you just go through with your application as well, do the enrollment part, give your information, your social, your driver's license, you know, the kids' names, their socials, just all that, you know, personally identifiable information. You give that to them, they'll see if they can get you approved, and that's it. But you do not have to do a medical exam for all policies. But let me just quickly say this too, though. Just because there are non-medical policies, let's say you want a $2.5 million policy and you want to do it non-medical, meaning you don't want to do anything about health, there is something called the MIB. Okay, the MIB is kind of like the CIA, all right? They're going to know everything about your health that is registered in this one large database. So if you go to the hospital, if you've had surgery, if you went to the ER, I mean, just whatever, anything hospital related, medical related that you have on paper that's documented is going to show in the MIB. So although you may meet with somebody and they say, yeah, girl, I can get you this non-medical policy and it's going to be so much money, etc. But let's say you didn't say anything about your health, which is the reason why you want to do non-medical. And let's say they come back to you like, ooh, baby, I'm so sorry they denied you. It's because they have access to those records, regardless if you tell them or not.
Okay. Okay. So just, I guess there are some folks who are a little bit concerned about losing their money, their 401k. And what did somebody ask? She said, should I stay with my 401k knowing this information? Should I just do the basic 401k to get the company match? Brittany asked this.
401ks are not terrible. It's just, it limits you. Okay. Your money does not grow in a 401k unless you work and unless the company matches it. That's it. Why do something like that? Or why only have that option when you can take a portion of that 401k and roll it over into an annuity that will give you interest, earning interest? That's money you're getting while you sleep. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to go to work for that. You don't have to say, oh, my check was $250, so I'm gonna put 25 into my retirement plan. You can do that part plus roll over enough money into an annuity or IUL or whatever and have that money start growing by itself. Like it's one and done. Put it in that IUL account and fund the account whenever you can and just let that money grow. It's not a bad thing to have a 401k or a 457 or 403b. It's not. It's just you need to learn to how to diversify. And because you do have those funds, you do need to diversify. That's the best. The best retirement plan is a diversified retirement plan.
Okay. And so Charlie B, thank you for that. She said she just would like, just for clarity for those watching, people who withdrew funds from their 401k right after the crash are the ones who lost the money because selling locks in the loss. Selling locks in the loss. Those who kept their funds saw a full recovery and in fact have seen their gains double since then. So yes, over time, know that the market grows. Like history of the market is that it grows over time, and that if you're in it for the long term, then you are likely going to see profit. And that yes, it's almost like buying a house and then all of a sudden the property value of the house drops and that's when you sell it. So yes, now that you sold the house, you've lost whatever money you put into it. And let's just say you held on to that house instead, and 10 years later, the house got back up to what you originally bought it for plus some. And so that's what Charlie's speaking about. And that's what Robin alluded to, that no, 401ks are not bad, but it's not the only way to set aside money for retirement.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Do you have to pay taxes? Ash asked, do you have to pay taxes if you roll it over? So I guess if you're rolling over some of your 401k money into an IUL, are there taxes you have to pay?
There's not taxes, but there can be a penalty depending on the company. You have to get on the phone, or I don't really suggest any of my clients call. What I usually do is just suggest we do a 3-way with their company to see what type of penalties they can run into, so that we can be prepared in advance before we do any rollovers or any into any annuities or IULs.
Okay. Let's see. Helen says, I'm 66 and plan on retiring in 4 years, and I want to start collecting her Social Security in January. This will increase her taxes, and she wants to invest half of her Social Security into something that will lower her taxes. Will an IUL help her?
Okay. Only because that's mainly a tax issue. I would have to refer you back to someone, maybe like a tax lawyer, etc. Okay. I would hate to give you what my advice would be, and maybe it may not be the best advice for you, because who's to say that that's, the route that you need to take with your money? There may be a different route as far as the tax advantages that you're looking for. So I would definitely suggest you talk to someone, maybe a tax lawyer or a CPA or somebody, to find out what the tax advantages could be that you're looking for.
Okay. Miranda asks, what options do I have with my Roth IRA?
What do you mean, what options do you have?
I don't know, Miranda, you're going to have to clarify, girl. Clarity. Let's see what else. I'm just reading, trying to make sure I get everybody's questions. So you talked about some pre-existing stuff already. Somebody asked about heart disease and a pacemaker, but you kind of talked about that when you touched upon the woman who was a breast cancer survivor. That you really would just have to work with an agent to find. There are policies that will cover you potentially, but you got to work with the agent to find them, basically. Oh yeah, get you a good licensed financial agency so that they can maybe appoint an agent to you. Again, that's what we do. That's why we're able to help anyone that's across the Texas border, because all you need to do is make sure you have your license in that state. So if you're in Delaware or wherever in the nation, as long as we're licensed there in that state, we can assist you with that. And maybe we can even get you connected to someone local if you prefer to meet somebody face to face, which is, it's ideal, especially if you're not comfortable with the whole Zoom and the video conferences, etc. So definitely get with someone who can guide you through that. I don't mind being able to help you, or if it doesn't work out for me to help you, I don't mind giving you a referral to someone and helping you find that person. I love that. Thank you. Okay. Simone said, is the Roth IRA better to have than the 401k? Again, I don't want to downgrade the 401k, people. The 401k is fine, all right? But it's great to diversify with the Roth IRA, okay? Because Roth is tax-free. It is not taxable because you're using pre-tax dollars for that, all right? You're using the pre-tax dollars to create that Roth IRA. The only two tax-free solutions that you have is a life insurance policy with a cash value and also a Roth IRA. Those are the only two tax-free solutions when it comes to retirement, when it comes to growing your money. That's it. The other two, actually, I think it's like it's the other two buckets for taxes break down into pre-tax, which is basically your income when you're working. When you get that money is already taxed. The government has already taken their money. And then you have tax deferred. Tax deferred are like annuities. You'll be taxed at, I believe it's 59 and a half years old. And depending on if your situation, if you take out money early, you do have penalties, etc. But yeah, the only tax-free routes though are life
insurance. A lot of people don't understand that, but life insurance is where it's at when you're talking about getting started. And if you don't have the funds to do the 401k and the Roth IRA, etc., you need to get a one-stop shop life insurance policy called the IUL. It will help you cover for critical illness, chronic terminal illness, critical injury. It helps you build for your retirement. It does everything really, like those basics that you need as far as being properly protected.
Okay. Camille asks, can you contribute to an IUL directly as pre-tax dollars?
Can you contribute to an IUL with pre-tax dollars? That was a question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, absolutely. People do it all the time. As a matter of fact, a lot of people don't know that you can roll over money from a retirement plan, etc. So most people who are buying these IULs, they're paying for it with those pre-tax dollars. They're using the money that they got from their job. They maybe just got paid on Friday. They're going to meet with me on Saturday at 12 noon. And they're like, listen, this is what I need to do. These are my needs. These are my wants for, retirement. And I just want to be properly protected because maybe breast cancer runs in my family or something. Like, what can I do? We do that enrollment. We send it to the underwriting team, and the underwriting team say, yes, they're approved. And then that person uses the money that they just got paid with on Friday to pay that premium to get that new financial solution in place.
Okay, Be Free said, I just started a new job and enrolled in a 403B a month ago. When is a good time to start to diversify?
Let's see. The best way I'm going to answer that is, if this is your very first retirement step, then I would not too much worry about diversifying. You know your needs, you know what you're working with, you know your income, you know what money you can afford to sacrifice to put into your 403B. You also know if you have enough money to go ahead and diversify and get an IUL. So it really just depends on your own financial situation. But the sooner you diversify, the better. However, again, one product, which is the IUL, it grows for you a lot better. The return on investment is sometimes a lot better only because that 401k, it doesn't get an interest. You can't sleep on it. It's based off of what the employer will match you or what you put into it.
Okay. So we're getting a lot of these. I didn't realize how many women who were baby boomers were inside the academy. Hey, baby boomers. So I'm just gonna reiterate. So Lauren says, I'm new to all of this. Is it too late for me to even consider retirement/life insurance? I'm 54 and basically restarting my life over after recovering from health issues. So let's just reiterate again, if you're already a baby boomer, like what are your options and what's kind of like the next steps, since a lot of folks are asking that.
Okay, the next step for you is to make sure you get a living benefits policy. Okay, that living benefits policy will let you have access to cash. Again, it's not just for covering medical bills. It can be used for an extra retirement income. It can be used for many different things. All right, so just get into the right product. It's not too late. When it's too late, when you start hitting maybe like 70 or 80 years old, you don't have time for that money to really grow for you. So then it becomes a question of, okay, maybe you need to do a policy that has a return of premium, meaning if you never get a chance to use any of the benefits of that product, you still can get all of your money back that you've put into that monthly premium. Okay. And then there are also what they call a guaranteed issue product. Again, you may not get a lot of money for it when you start hitting like 60, 70, 80 years old, only because it's more risk. And that's what life insurance is about. It's about risk and liability. You do have the option to do something like long-term care. Usually that does not have a index feature to it. Usually it's basically something you pay per month. And if you ever need like retirement home or assisted living or a caretaker, etc., usually that's what those policies are used for, to help with those extra expenses. But there are some other policies, some other living benefit policies. You may be able to get, $100,000 or $75,000 in living benefits to be able to help you somewhere around, like, I would say 50 to 63, something like that.
Okay. So just Geraldine, she just wanted to say, Robin, I want to thank you ahead of time before we all leave this class for schooling me on information I was unaware of and didn't have someone explain these policies to me. Golden information. This is what the Academy is about.
Yeah.
Ash asked a really good question. She said, if I take out an IUL, she's in her 30s, can she use it to help care for her parent?
Yes, it's your money. You can use your IUL cash value for anything you want to, and it can be tax-free. Again, there are rules to withdrawing that money, but there are usually an option for tax-free withdrawals when it comes to your IUL. So let's say you had $20,000 and you only had the policy for a few years or whatnot, and let's say it's grown by 20,000, you'll have access to that cash. But depending on how you choose to get that money out would determine if it's taxed or not. But they can't tell you, no, you can't use it for your parents. You can use it for vacation. You can use it for a down payment for a home, buy your new car, remodel your home. Like, it's your money. You do with it whatever you want to do with it.
So Sharonda wants some more clarity. She said, so pre-tax dollars. So how would you do that? Would you connect if you're going to pay for your IUL pre-tax dollars, is that something that you would connect via like HR would like the way you do with, like I had a 403B when I was a teacher, and before I even got my money, my retirement fund money was pulled out of my check. Is that how it is? Would I connect that behind the scenes? How would that work? Pre-tax dollars paid into an IUL?
Absolutely not. It's almost like buying shoes, but you're buying something that is non-perishable and it's going to grow for you. And it's something that's a lot more valuable. Okay. So basically you'll meet with someone like myself and you'll say, this is what I want. I want this IUL, and we'll send it into the underwriting team. The underwriting team will say, yes, you're approved, or they'll say no. But if they say, yes, you're approved, then they'll say, okay, you have to start paying this premium. You're going to have about 7 to 30 days to decide how you want to pay your monthly premium. That's all on you. If you want to use the paycheck that you just got deposited into your account and it's already there, and you say, oh, okay, I got paid today, let me go pay my premium out of my pre-tax money. That's what pre-tax means. The government has already taken out that Social Security and the Medicare and just all of that. It's what's in your direct deposit. Direct deposit.
But isn't that that's not post-tax? I feel like pre-tax, isn't that before they take taxes?
Say it one more time.
I feel like I see what who was that? Sharonda was saying, because when I think pre-tax, that's before they take my tax, before I actually get my paycheck. I guess we're getting confused by like, what do you mean by pre-tax?
Okay. So, when you are working, right? And it could easily be me misconstruing the term, and I do apologize if I did that. But when you're working and they take the taxes out, right, you're getting money that's already been taxed. Yes. So that's why I say it's been pre-tax. It's already gone. So
semantics. So yeah. So basically, it is after tax dollars. You're calling. I'm just clarifying because I've seen a lot of people asking that question.
Yeah.
So basically, it's almost like the same way that you guys would the difference between a regular IRA and a Roth IRA. So in a regular IRA, a traditional IRA, the money is taken before you even get it. But with the Roth, the reason why it's allowed to grow tax-free is because you've already paid the taxes, and you're basically paying into your Roth IRA from your take-home pay. So just erase the word pre-tax from your mind, guys, and just know that you're paying with money that's already been taxed. It's previously been taxed. That's how Robin is using that term, but I understand the confusion. So it's previously been taxed. So we're on the same page, but now I understand. So it's not what you would think pre-tax dollars would be. This money is already taxed. So that way it's allowed to grow tax-free, and you'll be able to enjoy it without paying taxes afterwards, right?
Yeah. Right. Okay. And thank you for explaining that, because I didn't know that I was confusing.
Yeah, sorry. No, it's okay. But this is why we ask questions, because I was like, because like I said, that the terminology that I would normally use for that is pre-tax, but I understand what you're saying. So now we're all on the same page. Okay. See, that was good, but this is why it's so important that you guys participate. Sharonda, like making that clarity statement so that we're all on the same page. Okay. Let's see. So, this is a good one. Butterbeans. Hey, Butterbeans. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. She said, my dad is not a citizen, nor does he engage in digital transactions. Is there any way that he can sign up for life insurance?
Okay, you said that he's not a citizen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There are companies who are located almost really in any country. I don't know about National Life, but I do know that I can look into it for you. Maybe you can send me a message. I can see what's available to him where he is at that do have similar products. So it's not a no, but it's a let's look into it to see what we do have available where he's at.
Okay. Yeah, you guys have really great questions, honestly. So let me see. You guys honestly have great questions. So somebody, actually, I think we're just about here. Someone said, this is so good with so many details. I feel like we need a second session. Agreed! Yay! So honestly, this was just such a great session, Robin. I feel like we answered 95% of the questions. Some of the questions were either kind of repeats or similar to other questions. But the great thing is that Robin is a resource. So you already know that 99% of our experts also join our Facebook group. The great thing about Robin is that she was already a dream builder. So yeah, she's in the group already. Yeah. So that's awesome. So a few things. One, her website. What's your website, Robin?
BeProperlyProtected.com, or just you can go to GoFundMe Prevention.
Ooh, look at that. Ooh, shade. What? Yes, I love the shade. She was like, because let's be real, you wouldn't necessarily need GoFundMe. Honestly, I love it. So for those of you who are watching live, we're gonna head over to the Facebook group. Tag Robin. Robin has 2 N's, Robinne, right, Robin?
Yep.
Alexander. So you can tag her. Use the hashtag #AskTheExpert. And also you will find, if you're watching live, that Tamara has already pinned tonight's link to rewatch the class, the talking points, links to all of her, basically everything that you're going to need if you want to kind of dive back into this lesson. And the best place, honestly, if you ask me, if you have additional questions, Robin, you've already, did she tag you? Oh, yeah, she did. Good. So this literally it's a picture of books, and it says links and resources. This is the best place if you're watching live to ask Robin questions. So it's all in one space, so she can just answer questions. So we're all gonna head over to the Facebook group. Remember, hashtag #AskTheExpert. Tag Robin. Ask most of your questions if you can under that pinned post, which is links and resources. Yeah, I know. Tara, she said, woo-wee, I'm overloaded. I need to really go back and do some research on what options might be best for me and my family. Yeah, so also, Tara, remember this when it comes to life insurance and all financial information, that it's really personal. That what I try my best to do is bring on amazing experts who are going to answer questions that can help the majority, but everyone has nuances. So you really need to sit down and talk to someone about your nuances. But at least now you are equipped with some of the questions to ask, So, yeah. So I just want to say, someone said you are the bomb, Robin. She said, GoFundMe Prevention. That's funny. Let's see. Thank you for everything. Thank you. Yay. Okay, so we're going to head to the Facebook group. Robin, do you want to end with anything? If you could leave us with one, one great piece of advice or whatever before we head to the Facebook group and they can ask even more questions, what would that be?
Yeah. You know what? I would have to tell you a personal story. Okay. Last year, I gave birth to my second child. Okay. And in my family, we all are known to have big, healthy babies. 8 pounds, 10 pounds, etc. Well, my son ended up being over 2 months premature. And what happened is I had him on a Tuesday. We left him at the end of the NICU, the neonatal ICU, and I would start visiting once a day for the first week. Well, after that first week, I started having pains and I couldn't breathe, etc. And I was at home. I called my brother. I said, listen, come pick me up. I said, something is wrong. I don't know what's wrong. And to make a long story short, I was basically in the dying process. They told me that I had what they call postpartum cardiomyopathy and pulmonary edema, which is basically heart failure induced by childbirth. I was literally dying to give birth, and it just got worse over the days. And so I spent almost 3 weeks in the hospital on the cardiac floor being wheeled to go see my child in the NICU. When I say be properly protected, is because I know it. It's personal. I too had a living benefits policy last year when I experienced that surprise. Before the hospital, I was perfectly healthy. No high blood pressure, no diabetes, no cancer incidents, no nothing like that. Just a happy, healthy, go get it, go, you know, I love going. That's just me. And for me to come down with something so extremely severe, but to also be properly protected at the same time changed my life. So be properly protected. You are your greatest asset. I would tell you, cancel your phone insurance just so that you can afford your life insurance. I would say cancel your TV insurance so that you can afford your life insurance, something that's really going to benefit you, and get that financial burden removed from you so that if anything ever happened to you, you will be good to go and your lifestyle will not go down the drain because of it.
No, honestly, I mean, and I'll share this with you guys. My husband, a couple of years ago, I was like out of the country, and he wasn't picking up his phone, and I'm like, "What's going on?" And you know how you just know, you get that sinking feeling like something's not right. And what happened was he decided to go out, hang out with the boys, because you know I was out. I was like, "Okay, you cute." He had a flat tire, and when he was coming out from like his friend's house, his boy was changing the flat tire. He tripped over the rim, fell, and hit his head.
Oh,
yes. And so, but you know, he didn't think anything of it. He was like, you know, I fell, but I felt fine, you know. And he was like, so I got home. He was like, I fell asleep. I woke up to blood on my pillow. He went to the emergency room and they did a scan, and they found that he had an aneurysm, not from that fall.
Wow.
You know, that fall, like honestly, the blood rescinded. So meaning like he hit his head, and they were like, honestly, you know, you got a big old hard head. Yeah. The fall, you're okay from that. You're gonna have a headache for a little while, but we see something here, a pre-existing condition that normally, because he was like 34 at the time, that we wouldn't be checking a 34-year-old for a brain scan, only because you hit your head, you have an aneurysm. And I remember literally being like, I forget where I was, being on the phone with the neurosurgeon, like, we need to operate right away, because it's not a matter of if this aneurysm bursts. For those of you who don't know, an aneurysm is like your vein is like a balloon, and you ever blow a balloon and you can see a little soft spot in the balloon as you blow it, that part extends a little further than the other parts of the balloon, and that's usually where the balloon pops. That's what an aneurysm is that the blood is rushing through the balloon. And with time, that weak part of the balloon will burst, fill your brain with blood, and typically kill you. Wow. So the aneurysm that they found was basically that part of his balloon in his head was distended. And they were like, so it's not a matter of if at 34 this vein is going to burst. It's when. If he was 80, they would have left it. Right. And when I tell you, like, I didn't realize the value of insurance. Yeah. Disability didn't kick in until I don't know what. I mean, I didn't, because we were young. I mean, we're still young, but I was like fighting with disability. What if I wasn't working? I mean, he didn't get disability until like 6 or 7 months until he got back from work. I mean, it was a nightmare. And I thought to myself, if something happens to him, then what? Thank God he had the surgery and he made a full recovery. But what if he didn't? What if he didn't? You know, we don't have kids together yet, but he has a daughter. So then what happens? And so it just. You never think about it. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't have insurance for the longest time. I was like, I'm young. I don't need no insurance, you know, because you think you'll be young forever until you're not. And so, yeah, the insurance is just so critical. And I know it can seem like a lot, you know. So what we just decided to do, and what I encourage you to do, is just to focus on one thing once a year. So I'm like, okay, disability this year, we're gonna knock that out. Okay, life insurance this year, we're gonna knock that. Instead of like, I decided not to like overwhelm myself with doing too many things. So, but like just every year, I try to do one new thing to add to my basket of protection, you know?
And that's a really good thing to approach it like that, because you don't want to get overwhelmed. It's already overwhelming. I mean, and then it's intimidating because usually we don't have the education and the information to make that informed decision, you know? And so we're kind of a fish, you know, out of water when we're saying life insurance, and most people think it's it's only death insurance, which it probably should have been marketed that way when it first started. But no, they're like living benefits. It really is life insurance. Because like last year I had a $600,000 policy, and with my life insurance, it has living benefits, and I qualify for 24% of my policy, which is $144,000. So like that money helps pay bills. It helps pay car note, mortgage, childcare, making sure that everybody else is taken care of. My lifestyle is not changing because I'm sick, you know? So it makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference. And it'll be one of the greatest things that you can do for yourself and really your family too.
I'm so sorry, Jalen. I'm just going to end with this. She said, my daughter was 24 and died of an aneurysm. It wiped us out financially. So I understand. Girl, you know, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Girl, you're going to have me crying. I'm already like, So with that, I'm going to say just thank you so much, Robin, because it's not an easy thing to talk about, but you made it clear, made it concise. I love that fact you're already a dream catcher and a dream builder, and we'll see you in the Facebook group. And even if you're not watching live, Robin is in the Facebook group anyway, so you can always tag her and ask her questions. If somebody wants to work with you, how does that work? Like, where are you licensed? Just so we're clear.
Okay, I'm licensed in 6 different states, including Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, California. I can't remember the other ones. But basically, if I'm not licensed where you are, you tell me what your state is. And only for Tiffany, the Budgetnista, I'll go ahead and get my license for your state just so that I can be able to help you.
Wow.
See how awesome my clients. That's one thing I just don't do because of my background, my history as a single mom, my history coming from an impoverished background, etc. I don't charge my clients. I'm rewarded pretty well from the companies that I offer to my clients because I do the research, I do the work, and I work my behind off for my people because again, I do it because nobody did for me, you know? And so just let me know what state you're in. I'll say, yeah, I'm licensed already, or you know what, I'll help you, but you have to say, you know what, I'm gonna commit to you to whatever we do this plan for, whether it's retirement or whatever. And I'll go ahead and get my license. It's a really easy step to do. So I don't mind, but I don't charge. Just let me know what you want to do through Zoom or a conference call or whatever. I'm here. This is what I do.
And I thank you for that. Honestly, so if someone wants to connect with you, they go to your website. So just so you're clear, she's doing this because you're a dream builder.
Yes.
So when you reach out to her, you just let her know, hey, I'm a dream builder.
Yeah, please say that. Yeah.
You know, so that way she understands, like, okay, you're coming from this tribe, and so Robin is going to extend herself on our behalf. That's amazing. Thank you so much for that. And so how does someone? So do they go to your website? Do you have a contact me form? How does someone connect with you?
Please go to GoFundMePrevention.com. Use that contact email or use the contact page where you can already pre-fill some health issues or pre-fill your budget, pre-fill some, different questions for me to receive. Just mention in the very bottom that you are a dream builder. You're coming from the Budgetnista, okay? And I'll get that directly in my email and I will respond to you. Give me like 24 hours to respond, but I will respond and we will get you taken care of.
And it's also be properly protected, right? When I type that in, it changes to be properly protected.com,
yes,
right?
Be properly protected.
Okay, I wanted just you guys to know that because if you're watching this and you're not watching live, that's inside the academy. So if you're watching this and you want to connect with Robin, that website, bbeproperlyprotected.com, is inside the academy. You can reach out and just, take the next steps to protect yourself and your family. Again, thank you so much. Kim said you might be licensed in the entire U.S. I know. I don't think Robin knows she asked it, right? Because we shut websites down. I'm like, all right, Robin.
I have a large team, y'all. Listen, I have a large team between Oklahoma and California. We are ready here just to assist you the best way possible. Again, if you're a dream builder, hit me up now because this ain't gonna be like this in about 3 months, people. So hit us up now. I have a large team that's waiting for you guys to reach out to us.
Okay. All right. Well, thank y'all. We'll see you inside the Facebook group if you're watching live. And just again, thank you so much, Robin. Words can't express how much I appreciate tonight's session.
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome. I love you so much.
All right, y'all. Good night.